Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome! I am so excited! I'm so excited! Pokemon Legends ZA has finally dropped news. Pokemon Presents happened. I'm not really going to talk about all the other stuff Pokemon Presents. I'm just going to talk about ZA, even though there was a lot of cool stuff to talk about for that too. But ZA, Pokemon Legends ZA, it has been so long since we've played any new Pokemon games. Scarlet and Violet feels like it's been ages, and Legends Arceus feels like even longer ago. Even though they also kind of feel like they were recent, it feels like it's been so long since we've booted up a new game, and I'm happy about that, actually. I know that they've taken an extra year for development for this game. I think that's great. I think it shows, actually, in a lot of places. I think it doesn't show in a lot of other places, but we're going to talk about all that. First thing first, oh my gosh, finally, it's here. We're getting to see it. We're actually seeing gameplay. We're seeing the graphics, which I know a lot of people online have problems with. I personally don't have a lot of problems with it. I think it looks okay. Like, I'm not, it's not like crazy, right? But it looks decent. It looks fine. I will say, I think the biggest issue that I have with the graphics, and it was the same with Scarlet and Violet, and I don't know if it was true for Legends Arceus, but it probably was. I think the floors have really, really bad textures. And it's almost to the point where I just feel like they don't really know what their art style really is going to be, or like what they're aiming for, because it just, at least for me, tell me what you guys think. I think the floors are the biggest issue with the graphics. They just look blurry and like, they just don't look sharp or bright at all. And because the floor is so close to your screen and it takes such a big part of your screen, I think it really makes everything else look so much shittier. I don't know, tell me what you guys think. I'm not really looking at it right now, so I can't really reference what I'm talking about, but they just look blurrier and not sharp, and I think it throws everything else off. It makes everything else look worse. Tell me what you guys think about that, because I think the floors are really the problem. Pokemon models are okay. Buildings look okay. Some of the foliage actually look pretty good, I think. Like some of the grass, stuff like that look pretty good, but in other parts look pretty bad, so I won't hate on that. Water, it looks alright, but I don't know, dude. It looks fine. It looks good enough for me, certainly. I enjoyed Scarlet and Violet, even though I admit it looked horrible. I'm much more concerned about frame rate. I hope frame rate is fixed. We need at least 30. Like, the fact that I'm saying that is honestly ridiculous. We need at least 30. It should be 60. I think 60 is, like, low for industry standard, but it's still industry standard. I think 60 is fine. Give me 30 and I won't complain. You freaks a game freak. I just want 30, okay? Gosh damn. And actually, one thing I want to tack on to the graphics thing is, I noticed that on the Mega Evolutions, actually, they have like a rainbow tint to them, which is really cool. That wasn't really in the old games. Like, I'm trying to think the most recent Mega game was it Sword and Shield? Or, oh my gosh, not Sword and Shield, but X and Y? Or did Elras come after? I don't know. Regardless, I don't remember them having that rainbow like tint to them, and it looks really, really cool actually. Some of the Pokemon it looks okay on, but like some in particular, like Charizard, the black, and like just seeing the rainbow hints and like going into the fire, it looks freaking awesome actually. It looks really, really cool. Of course Charizard looks good on, they know what they're doing. But I'm curious if it's gonna look good on any other Pokemon. Like, I like that effect actually, and it, people shit on like the graphics and like people wanting to go back to pixel art, but there's cool advantages to like what they're doing now, and it's not great. Obviously, it's not perfect, but when they polish it up, like I'm not saying for this game, but like 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, I know people are rolling their eyes, but like it's cool to see the foundation, right? And I think that they can really take it in cool places. We also did see the starters, pretty sweet. I know people have opinions about the starters, and I'm not even mad at it. Here's the thing, at least for me, is starters are kind of mid. I'm not gonna lie, like when you look at the list of starters, a lot of them are actually not that interesting. Like, I'm gonna throw out a lot of names at people are gonna freak out, like Litten. Okay, people say like Tepig, oh, it's so boring. Dude, there's so many boring fire types that they could have used. I think Cyndaquil's boring, like, I'm not gonna lie, I think they did cool stuff with the Hisuians, like, but Cyndaquil's pretty boring. Litten, in my opinion, is super boring. I actually like Fennekin, but I know a lot of people don't like Fennekin. I'm trying to get other fire types. I actually don't think what was the Scarlet and Violet guy's name called? I don't even remember. I picked him and I dropped him in like the 20s to 30s level, and I picked up Cerulite instead. It was way cooler. I don't know, dude. Like, people really bitch and moan about like the starters they picked. Whatever, man. I saw one good argument for they were like, because this game's set in like France, right, or like the France equivalent. So I saw people make good arguments for like French, like starters with more French roots, but even then, it's like, I don't know. People complain about the starters. There's a lot of bad starters that they could have picked. They just picked these three and people are unhappy with them. You would have been unhappy with a lot of other combinations, in my opinion. That's just kind of what I think. I don't know. But I will admit, like, yeah, Totodile boring, Chikorita boring, and what's the third one? Gosh dang, Tepig. Tepig boring. Tepig is the worst one of the three. I think Chikorita is overhated. I'm not gonna lie. I think Chikorita is actually overhated. Probably the one I'm gonna pick out of the three, although I don't see myself using any three of them for the whole game. Unless they have cool alternate forms, which I do want to talk about that. But as far as the three starters go, I think they're getting overhated. I think starters in general, just like, and I love starters, obviously, right? They're iconic, but they're just not that cool when you boil them down to like the actual, like, all of the Pokemon. They're just okay. And that's something I think Pokemon needs to really work on. Like, Scarlet and Violet was a great example of, like, it was filled with amazing, cool, creative Pokemon, and none of them were the starters. I thought the starters were some of the weakest Pokemon in the game. Meowscarada, the Gator, and what was the dancing Quaquaval? The Joe, maybe it's not a Josuke reference. I saw him as a Josuke reference, but I don't know. I thought that their starter trio was really lame, and I think Game Freak really needs to, like, lock in on the starter game, because they should be the coolest Pokemon in the game. They should be. Gen 1, the three starters are the coolest Pokemon in the game, in my opinion. Those three are easily top 10 Pokemon in Gen 1. So, I don't know. I would love to see more love for these upcoming starters, because, yeah, dude, when they pick from this list of horrible Pokemon, there's going to be a lot of bad Pokemon. But maybe that's my hot take of the video. People might really freak out hearing me say that I think the starters are kind of mid, but a lot of the starters are bad. That's just how I feel. Oh my gosh, I almost forgot. I do want to talk about, obviously, there's so much potential for the third forms, especially with the Pokemon they picked. Emboar, I don't really know. I'm sure they have a plan. Don't really care. But also, like, I didn't think about this, but they might not do, like, I know, like, Hisuian had the Hisuian forms, but there might not be forms in this game, because, like, why would there be? They've already been to X and Y, and there's no reason. Like, you know, you go to a new region, okay, there's regional forms, and then Hisuian, it was like, okay, they're like past forms or whatever, right? In this game, do we really they, you know what, they even got away with it in Scarlet and Violet with Paradox and whatever, right? So they're milking that cow as much as they can. I don't know if they, I don't know what they're gonna do. Also, because, like, okay, if they do regional forms, right? If they do, like, different final evolutions for the starters, are they the ones that get the megas? Okay, then the other starters, like the original Totodile for Alligator or whatever, is there gonna be no mega for Alligator? It's only gonna be freaking the new gen one. I don't know. It's weird. It doesn't make sense. And also, last thing for the starters, this is more of a mega thing. I should say this is a mega thing, but I think every starter should have a mega. Like, every starter, without exception. They're too iconic and too important Pokemon to not have megas. I don't know. I know it's too much work. I know it's not realistic. They're never going to do it. And also, if they made megas for every Pokemon, I mean, that would maybe close doors for future games if they want to bring megas back. But I just think it's so ridiculous that every starter doesn't have a mega. Maybe that's just me too. Tell me your opinions. I don't know. Maybe I'm spouting a bunch of bullshit right now. Okay, but this is my opinion. All right, I'm letting it out. All right, I don't care. Characters definitely look really cool. I don't honestly have too much of opinions on character designs, although I will say the ZA guy, or AZ, whatever his name is, I don't understand lore anymore, because, like, isn't he, like, 3,000 years old? I don't actually understand it. I'm sure they'll maybe explain it in the game, or maybe it's already been explained and I just don't know. Please someone help me out. What are we talking about here? How old is this guy? The flower's like 3,000 years old for sure, right? And he was there at the beginning. I don't get it. How is he alive? I get he has white hair. I don't think that excuses his age. I don't think it makes. I'm confused. But I did like the other character designs. They look cool. I like how you can kind of tell what Pokemon they're about by their design. The lady totally has Mega Salamence on her clothes or whatever. Totally Mega Salamence. And I've seen theories online about the other guy being Rayquaza, but I don't understand why he would be Rayquaza. Like, Mega Salamence, girl, okay, yeah, you use Mega Salamence, that's your Pokemon, right? But, the Rayquaza one? Are you, like, maybe their goal is Rayquaza, but then, like, why does he look like Rayquaza and not her, right? Maybe he's gonna, like, backstab her in the end? I don't understand. I don't know. Curious. He does totally give Rayquaza vibes, though. And their building is called, like, Quaza, like, I don't know what it's called. When they pronounced it in the commercial, they did not say it Quaz, it was more like Qua, or Quay, Alright, I'm sounding crazy right now. They said it in a weird way, though. It wasn't like a Quaz. They said it, I don't know. But, I totally think it's like Rayquaza building. They're doing some Rayquaza shit for sure. So if he looks like it, it makes a lot of sense for that to be what they're doing. Character designs are cool. Oh, and I really hope, please God, please, let us design our characters. Like, let us change the clothes. I think they will. Arceus had that. Scarlet and Violet had it too, didn't it? No, you have the dang uniforms. Oh my gosh, what a criminal game on so many fronts. Arceus had it though, and I love that aspect. I love designing my character. I love matching, my partner Pokemon or whatever aesthetic you're going for. Very, very fun, very cool. Please let us design our characters. Also, holy shit, this video's already 10 minutes. I'm so cooked. These videos need to be shorter, man, but I just talk about bullshit, man. I start rambling. It's cooked. 20-minute video. We're cooked. I really like the development plan, actually, and not just from a gameplay perspective, but actually like from a lore perspective. Like, I like the idea of the town coming together and creating the space in the town for the Pokemon, and I really like the way it looks in the town. Like, they have that one shot of them walking down the street, and it's like there's a car there, but also like the grass is really overgrown and like everywhere, and there's like a coffee shop, but there's like big old bushes and trees in front of it. It looks really cool. Still a little basic, obviously, graphics, but as a concept, it looks really cool, and I like this idea, and I like the way that towns could maybe look in the future. Obviously, I think it's going to be more unique to, I forget the name of it, the X and Y town, but yeah, it's just really cool. I like this, and I like this idea moving forward for the lore, for the way it looks in the gameplay. I like the development plan. Obviously, it's going to be good for gameplay. It's going to be the reason why you slowly unlock areas and all that stuff. I don't know, I very much just really like that shot of just like seeing the town, but also seeing like the wild grass aspect, like kind of on top of each other. I thought it was very, very cool. I've already talked a little bit about Megas, but oh my gosh, man. I mean, there's a billion things to talk about Megas, and also like nothing to talk about Megas at the same time. I think what it really boils down to, like for me, Megas are my favorite gimmick. Even though that I recognize they're not the best gimmick mechanically or competitively, they're easily my favorite. I think their biggest weakness is something that was pointed out to me by another YouTuber whose name I forget. I apologize, but they kind of pointed out like how actually few megas there really are, and it is a lot of work that goes into like making a mega, and I think that kind of sucks because when you like go in to make teams, you're really limited to by the like what Pokemon can use it. Like for example, I don't know how many megas there are. Maybe there's like 50, 60, but when you look at like something like Terrastal or Dynamax or whatever, it's like any Pokemon can do it. You just press the button. Megas are it's a lot more picky on, and it kind of shortens the Pokemon that you can use, which kind of sucks. It's like your partner, you want it to be something that can Mega, but now it's like you're limited to this short list of Pokemon that can be your partner. So that kind of sucks, and I kind of dislike that. So I would love, I really want a lot of different Pokemon to get Megas, and especially because if there's I know it's rumored that there's no abilities in this, which is really kind of shitty because I think Megas, what makes them special is their unique abilities, what makes them fun is their unique abilities. It's like, I think that was the selling point for them, was they all had these special unique abilities, and it really made them unique compared to like every other Pokemon that you could pick. It made them super unique because of the different passives they could have. So if they don't have that in this game, that's actually a really big bummer, for me at least. But I think there's a lot of workarounds, maybe some exclusive moves or whatever that you could sneak in. And you know what, if there's less work being spent on like moves and stuff like that, please spend that time making Megas, just making them. Make as many as you can, as many different Pokemon as you can. I think that would just be really special and really important. Obviously, it's probably going to be a short list. It's a lot of work that goes into it, and they're probably going to very specifically pick which ones get it, but yeah, the more the better for me. That's really how I feel. And I really don't know how they're going to work around this no ability thing. If that's the case, it's only a rumor. Like, part of me thinks it's just, how do you do no abilities? I know Arceus had no abilities, but with Megas and returning Megas, like something like Kangaskhan with such a unique ability where, it hits all physical attacks twice, how does that work? If you take that ability away, do you just change its stats? Which you could do. You can change their stats around and just nuke out its attack, but I don't know, there's just a lot of weird things that go into that now, because, and I know they've shown on home, like they can transfer stuff on, because on Arceus, if you put a Pokemon from Arceus on the home, it just gives like a random ability. So the home has stuff for that, but I just feel like it would get really complicated if you have the same Pokemon but with different stat shapes, like stat tables, right? Isn't that weird? But maybe if you just put it on home, maybe you just have it swap over to the main line. I don't know what they're gonna do. I think that's really weird, and I think that's a big hurdle for them to go over, but that's a dev problem. I'm a player. We don't have to deal with that problem, but I'm curious what they do. I'm very, very curious, because yeah, Megas are a big topic. Alright, let's talk about it. This battle and shit, man. What are they freaking doing? I'm excited personally. I think if this was a mainline game, I would be like, what the heck are they doing? But this is Legends, okay? And Legends is where we do gimmicks. This is where we try things, experiment. I thought the Agile Strong style was like okay. I actually liked it a lot. I didn't think it was like super perfect or cool, but I think in terms of balance, it was pretty sick. Normie opinions, I didn't really like play it competitively at all, but I thought it was cool. This is some other shit, man. This is like completely changing the formula, and I maybe think for the better. I think, I say this so much when it comes to Nintendo, it's so frustrating, but I think this is such a great proof of concept. Like, it's such a good idea that they can expand on. Like, I've always thought that, Pokemon games and the anime were so separate in terms of their depiction of Pokemon battling, and this from a game, at least from recent memory, and from, I'm sure maybe there's some gimmicky games out there, this from recent memory is like the clearest like video game version of what they do in the anime. Like, the whole like calling out your move and the moves having different ranges, and it is so creative. The stealth rock, where he just puts the rocks up and like the enemy actually has to like go and walk into them mistakenly on their own, is so cool. And there's, oh my gosh, there's just so much they can do with it, man. With no more turns, the Pokemon speed, maybe does that factor in like animation speed? Does that factor in like how fast you run around the map? It's really cool. If it's move running around the map, like now I want the fastest Pokemon possible. And not only that, but like hitbox, is something like Tandem Mouse gonna be like harder to hit, I don't know. I really like this. I think it's really, really cool. I know there's like an auto AMP, and I know it's probably gonna feel really clunky. Like, I feel like looking at it, when I picture it in my head, when I'm not looking at the trailer, it's so like fast and responsive. But when you look at the trailer, it is pretty slow. Like, it's very much like, I don't know. I don't know what to compare it to. I have nothing really to compare it to. I saw people talking, it was like a lot like Xenoblade. I've never played Xenoblade, so I can't speak on that. But it looks so cool as a proof of concept. And I just think that there's so many cool ways that they can expand it. I was thinking, like, let's go a step further. Like, I know that it looks I think it's going to be really tedious having the Pokemon follow your short distance. I know they want you to have a way to, like, control the Pokemon, maybe dodge moves yourself. I think ditch that. Let's just make it look more like the Pokemon anime. Let's have them control their own movement like an AI, like they know how to go and move around, make decisions on their own a little bit, and then you are the ones picking all their moves. You know what I mean? I think that would just be so dynamic and cool. Maybe there's ways to control how they move, or you could tell them to play certain areas, and this is getting very complex now. This is a lot of coding, and there's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but I just think it'd be so cool if like they moved on their own, and then you were like, oh yeah, use this move, the quick attack, and then maybe certain moves had different cooldowns, because in the anime, like, they would quick attack like back and forth, you know what I mean? Like, that would be really, really cool. I know, back in the old, I think it was in Scarlet and Violet, or maybe the game before, I think it was Scarlet and Violet, where, there was a, like, your Pokemon would, it was Diamond and Pearl, wasn't it? The remake, where your Pokemon would like you a certain amount, and the more they liked you, like, the higher chance they would have, like, dodge abilities and stuff. I think you implement that into the game, and instead of having text show up, where it's like, Piplup dodged the attack, instead of showing that in text, what if you freaking, you see the animation, you see your Pokemon, he's moving on its own, you see the enemy launching a flamethrower, and your Piplup freaking, like, jumps up in the air and dodges there, just like a cool sidestep. There's so much cool potential there, man. That is so exciting to me. I think it's always been kind of my dream to see the games have that anime-like feel to the battles of, like, calling out attacks and watching them happen in real time and just being fast and all this stuff. This is really cool and really close to that. It is fascinating and it is exciting. And again, I think if this was a mainline game, I wouldn't want it. I genuinely wouldn't, because I love the old formula and I love the old format. But if they're going to do something on Legends and test stuff out, this is what I want them to test. 100%. I want them to test this. This looks really cool. And I think a lot of people who, kind of fell out of Pokemon, I think are excited by this, at least at my work. Like, people that I talk to who don't really play the games a lot, but kind of grew up playing the games and watching the anime, they like the concept of this. And I think when they get their hands on it, I don't know, I'm stuck on this idea of it being slow. It looks just kind of slow and clunky. I think when people get their hands on it, they might be a little bit underwhelmed, but as a concept, people want this. People are excited about this kind of stuff. I'm really excited about this kind of stuff, so I would love to see them expand on this. I think there's so many cool different ways they can go with, you know, the different moves. You know, they're all the moves are so different and unique, and I think that would really translate into this type of combat system really well. You know, maybe, you know, setup moves are so different in this now. I didn't even think about that until just now. But like stuff like solar beam, like where you take a turn, it is so different. So it's so interesting and so cool. I think there's just a lot of cool ways that they can go with this. I want to get my hands on this, and I want to really give more better opinions on this, because I want to see this expand. I want to see this grow. I like this very, very much. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot to talk about too, like double battles. How does that work with this system? I want to see that. That's kind of it. I really want to see that, like double battles. How do we even, hello? Like, this is crazy, no? Other than that, there's not really too much to talk about. There were a few clips at the end I wanted to talk about. One, they do like that zoom out pan, and your character's like on like a balcony. To me, that kind of gave me house vibes, like Bread Tears of the Kingdom. Like, are we gonna get our own house to personalize? And like, that'd be badass. Even more badass. So what if our house had a balcony that you could like? I'm assuming there's gonna be a glider in this game, just because like, come on, this is like Nintendo now and open world games. We just get gliders now. How cool would it be to jump out your balcony? Like, get your quest in your room. Okay, we go out to this area. Freaking jump out the balcony, get on the paraglider, and just start sailing. Oh, dude, badass. Don't think it's going to be like that. I don't even think we're going to get a room. I think that's just me dreaming. But, oh, it'd be so cool. It'd be very cool. I would like that a lot. I like the customization. I like being able to make the game yours. I think a room, like, making your home base or your own apartment, very, very cool. I think that would be awesome. What was the other thing I was going to talk about? Oh, Korok seeds, too. I think the little green guy, are we going to be running around picking up shards like Pokemon Go and all the other games? I don't know. Probably. Maybe Korok seeds. I don't know what the reward would be for that, though. I don't know. But exciting nonetheless. Very, very excited. I don't think I have anything else I can really talk about, and I think I should wrap up anyways, because we're 22 minutes, and oh my god, the trailer's 4 minutes total of gameplay. I have to somehow get 4 minutes of video to make a 22-minute. I'm so hugged. I appreciate you guys, though, very much for watching. Please feel free to comment. I do respond to all comments. I don't know why I just clapped. That's so bad for audio, and I'm not doing face cam, so you can't even, like, I'm being animated, and I just, it's so, listen, you know, I'm a little rusty, too, okay? It's been a while. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. I really appreciate it. I will be responding to all comments as always, so feel free to comment, and I will see you guys very shortly in the next one, hopefully for more Pokemon content. Probably unlikely, though. It's gonna be very quiet for a while. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I've been so not posting well, and I apologize for that. It's just like, it's a mix of, okay, I'm so busy, I have so much shit I'm trying to do, and like, it's gonna be stuff that I can finish, so once it's done, I can get back onto this. So it's not like, it's just, you know, whatever, it's temporary, right? But also, I just haven't done I don't know what to record. Like, I have certain things I do want to record, but it's just difficult, like, trying to figure out exactly what I want to do, and then I get lost in this middle space of, like, I don't know what to do, so I do nothing, and it's just, like, that's the worst thing you can do, right? It's the literal worst thing. But I appreciate you guys' patience. I appreciate you guys kind of just, you know, being cool about it, so I'll catch you guys all very shortly, and goodbye. Goodbye. I need that. Goodbye.